Hare Krishna. So someone asked a question about the Veda Shastras. Five questions are there. What are the Vedas? Who wrote the Vedas? When did the Vedas were written or created? What language is the Veda written in? What's the importance? So let us see one by one. First, what is or are the Vedas? So Veda, the word itself means knowledge, right? It's a complete information about the entire creation and beyond. For example, we can see a library. In a library, you have books on science, books on commerce, books on arts, and all kinds of information, and every knowledge is right. But person accessing the library has to know which book is for that person according to his eligibility. If you're a science student, you'll go for science books. Even though the commerce and the arts books and all the other general stuff are all right, but they're not for you. So similarly, in the Vedas, there's so many branches. We have to know exactly which is the one for us because they are actually catering to all kinds of people. Now, here, if we take a time just to compare with other religions, there's some religions who say that most of the other religions say that they only have one book. This seems a little illogical. While Veda Shastra says thousands and unlimited of books, but other religions say they only have one book. Some people like it, but it's a little illogical. Why? Even in school, we have seen if we take a common subject like maths, throughout the years we have studied maths, there are so many textbooks that we have gone through, and there are many levels from numeracy, numerical, algebra, geometry, so many different levels, and everyone has their own books and this and that. So it seems like how can the entire knowledge of creation, history of this whole universe and beyond, God, all information about God, all information about the living being, different methods of worship, what should we do, what should we not do, everything just be in one book? If that is the case, then it must be very condensed, extremely, or it's some shortcut. So our Vedas are not like that. They have huge branches. Primarily, there are two main branches, which is called Shruti and Smriti. Shruti is that which is heard or spoken directly by the Supreme Lord, and Smriti is that which is remembered by the great sages. So in both of this, there are different categories. There are Puranas, which are story based, Upanishads, which is philosophical based, Aranyankas, Agamas, Brahmanas, and so many different kinds of category of knowledge. But we see in Kali Yuga, this is the worst age. Here we have no intelligence, no determination, no concentration. How are we going to study the entire library? So for the age of Kali Yuga, simple things are given. Like if you go to a library, there is the Four Dummies series. Like you can learn Spanish, Spanish for dummies, riding a car for dummies, fishing for dummies. So the For Dummies series is created just to make things very simple that anyone reading can understand. So similarly, Veda Vyasa, seeing the age of Kali Yuga, he made Mahabharata. And in Mahabharata, you have all the stories and politics and economy and scandals, which are very attractive to people. But within the Mahabharata, there's actually the medicine pill, which is the essence of the Vedas in the form of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita gives you sufficient knowledge to know. But if you want more details, then you have to look in the other Shastras. But it's sufficient. So that is it is the Veda Saram, or the essence of the Vedas, especially for those in Kali Yuga. So, who wrote this Vedas? Well, many people say Veda Vyasa, but factually, he's just the compiler. Lord Krishna himself is the creator of the Vedas. This he says in Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, 15th verse. Vedescha sarve aham eva vedyo. In all the Vedas, I am to be known. I am the subject matter that you have to seek out. Vedescha sarve aham eva vedyo. Vedanta krit. I am the author of the Vedas. Vedavit. I know the Vedas. Eva Chaham. Like that, Krishna is saying. So, third question, when was it written? Well, Veda Shastras are known as Aparushaya. Aparushaya means beyond man. Right? So, it's not man made, it's beyond this time. This knowledge has always been existing. Along with Sanatan Dharma, the practice, it is Sanatan Gyan. The knowledge is also Sanatan. So other religions, they have a date of their book. Like for example, the Bible was written 100 years after Christ. Quran was written 80 years after Muhammad. But the Vedas is not like that. In previous ages, people used to understand the knowledge of Vedas simply by hearing. It's called Shruti. The people who heard once and remembered, they're called Shrutidhars. Just hearing once they can remember. But then in the beginning of Kali Yuga, because our intellect went down, so the script form was introduced, right? And therefore all the knowledge was brought penned down into script, into paper, into trees, barks of trees, and this and that. Because we have very short memory. So when interesting point, when archaeologists, when they start doing excavation and they see that in the previous times there was no pen, there was no paper, that means people must have been illiterate. People must be a little more barbaric. They like to fight and this and that. They must be not very smart. Actually, it's opposite. The people who are so smart they didn't need a paper because they could remember. People who are more advanced. Just like nowadays, you see children in schools, just to do basic arithmetic, they have calculators, right? In our times, in the earlier times, just some maybe 20, 22 decades, 3 decades ago, people would do math in their using their heads. If you ask any number, they used to just do the math in their heads. We could remember so many phone numbers, but now with the introduction of mobile phones and calculators, people hardly even remember anything. The moment you ask even for a simple calculation, they remove their phone and they check. So people are becoming more foolish. Third, fourth question. What is the language of the Vedas? Oh, that is Sanskrit, the mother of all language. And the script that is now in Kali Yuga written, introduced, it's called Devanagari, means the language of the gods. Lastly, we see what is the importance of the Bhagavad Gita. So the importance of Bhagavad Gita is given, sorry, importance of the Veda Shastra is given in Bhagavad Gita itself. So 16 chapter 23rd verse, the Lord says, Yah Shastra Vidhim Utsrijya Vartate Kamakarata Nasasiddhim Avapnoti Na Sukam Na Param Gatim. Yashastra Vidhim Utsrijya, one who gives up the injunctions of the Shastra, the Veda Shastras, Vartate Kamakarata, and acts according to its own whimsical desires. I think like this, I like this, maybe it should be like this. Nasa siddhim avapnoti. Such a person will not get perfection, na sukam, no happiness, na param gatim, nor the eternal goal in life. So, the Vedas are like a manual. If you buy anything nowadays, there's always a manual to guide you in life. In the previous ages, they used to be longer lifespan, more concentration. People could do many kinds of austerities and penance and prayers. But in Kali Yuga, it's very difficult. So in Kali Yuga, the syllabus has come down small. That at least main book like Bhagavad Gita, if one reads, or Srimad Bhagavatam. Now so many of the branches of the Vedas are gone, disappeared, destroyed, and so on and so forth. But still, just reading these books, main books, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, one still can achieve the perfection of life. This is the mercy of the Lord. Hare Krishna.